Welcome to Trading Lounge and the daily US stocks for Thursday, June 9. And it does sort of appear that the focus for the markets really is on the next earnings season at the end of June. So early July, I think that's what the focus is. I think that because we're getting this sort of rally as well, they've priced what the Feds are doing in, and that's also why we're considering a low being in place. And in terms of our correction here, we're still looking at wave 1 to the upside with wave 2 to unfold. So we're still expecting another leg pressure to the downside. However, it's always nice to know at what point you're going to be wrong. So we would also just continue to look. I brought this down to this. I can remove that now. So I can bring that down to the next level. Buying down in this box would be about right. So we can turn that green. Will it reach this box? That's a little bit of an issue, and we'll just need to check on that tomorrow. And yeah, so let's just see how this plays out through here. So there will be good support at 144. It's kind of a bit of a special number. It's where sort of Fibonacci and Gann kind of meet in their numbers, and their numbers are not so different when you sort of look at them all. But yeah, that's the number where they meet 1212 is 144, of course, and the Fibonacci sequence at cut in short at 55.89, 144 in that sequence. So anyway, is it looking for this side to come down here? And this pattern hasn't been that simple either. It's been a little bit sort of complicated, as you know, but I still believe that we've got 1 and 2 at this point. So that's Apple. Nvidia, looking at the wave 1 up here with an A wave, a B wave, and then working lower here as well. And you know, you don't feel like that you're missing anything. Let's just say that I'm right for a moment and the market comes down and you can't figure out where to buy. It doesn't matter, because what we can do is, as I mentioned before, there'll be the first tiny little wave to come in, and if you can see that, if you can work out that there's 5 waves here and then there's a little impulse wave here in 5 waves, well then you can go long above here. And if you can't see that, that's okay. Then the next step will be looking at the next move up, and make sure if you do go along here, don't try to be sneaky. Make sure you put the stop underneath here, because this can retrace back quite a bit, and if you're trading CFDs or options or those sorts of things, they'll see those orders there and they'll probably nip them in the butt. Your loss is their profit. So once we see a larger move up, well then you will have the realization, but even then you don't need to FOMO out. So there will be some type of correction, and then it leaves this top here exposed at that point, or the second high you can go on here. So there's lots of different ways you can do things. It's just really about not over trading at this point and keeping a wider stop. And then of course there'll be another 5 waves after that as well. The market will realize, the third wave, the market realizes that, you know, something's going on, so this third wave will be strong as well. But there'll be a whole series that we'll be building into, because if we're right here with 1 and 2, we'll be going into a third wave, and we want to be building into that. This is the one that we want to build into. But like I said, you don't need to feel that you'll be missing too much. And I think that, you know, if you trade, let's say 10 shares, well then just put in 1 or 2 in this area here, you know. In the meantime, let's just assume that I'm wrong at this point, and we've got this as the A, the B, and the C in some way, or WXY or something, and this is wave 1 here, and pulling back wave 2, and the market's just going to go straight up from that. Well, then we need to buy these highs, these previous highs at this point. Okay, so that's our sort of plan B at this point, and you can't really go wrong buying new highs. I mean, of course you can, but you know, it's the wind is in your sails, and it's a better situation. So yeah, that type of thing, that's what we're looking at. And with Amazon here, you can see how far it sort of pulled back down. I mean, we need to put this up here. This is the 50-60%. So even though that the Nasdaq and the S&P are kind of traveling sideways a little bit, and we're trying to work out it as a way, are they pulling back for a wave 2 or wave 4? The stocks were telling us that they're pulling back for a wave 2. They just haven't pulled back very far, that's all. So with Amazon here, there's probably a couple of different ways you could look at this here. Once again, the 50-60% is down here. I'm looking at it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and then wave 2, and then 3, 4, 5. Will it come all the way down here? I don't know, but by the end of next session, if the market does move down lower, we'll have a better identity of this here, because we could start it here with wave 1 and 2 here, that type of thing, you know, but it looks like an A and a B and a C here, so an A wave, a B wave and a C wave here. Anyway, we'll sort it out, you know, it will come out in the wash. We'll say, oh no, that's definitely not that because of that, you know, that type of thing. So yeah, but more to come down here for Amazon. And Tesla as well. If you went long here, I hope that that you've exited at this point. I actually bought some myself at this point because I didn't get filled over here. But I'm happy to, you know, I'm going in for the long term. So I will. I may even buy some more down here. I've got some funds to go into this big trend, but I just need to set up another account. I want to separate things a little bit further. If I can get all that set up in time, but I'll be going for a dividend play, so probably won't be going into any of these tech stocks. So yeah, we're going to definitely exit that. So yeah, so let's just look at this a little bit closer. So I'll just borrow these over here, we don't need those. So this, it's likely to be wave 1 and 2 in here. I mean, you could look at that as 5 waves up here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then an extension in the 5th wave. That's possible. So what we need to do is bring that down to the top here. Could probably bring it down a bit further. And yeah, so otherwise we've got 3, 4, and 5 to come down here somewhere. I think this is 61.8%. So yeah, it's not going to go far at that point. And this can be also, we'll just turn this green as well. So just thinking about something, but I'll just remove that over there because then I might think that we're bought there later on, and so something like that. So that's Tesla. So just finishing off on that side. We do have a long trade here, but as we mentioned before, we'll just keep it because I don't think this is going very far. However, we're still expecting a move down here. If you don't have a position here, then buying in this box here would be fine. It could pull it back down to here though, so that's why we're keeping the stop out of the way. So our plan is really to build in all over here for that. It's easier in hindsight to see your mistakes and see what an idiot I am or whatnot, but anyway, we can always fix things along the way. But anyway, I don't think it's going to go far. The A wave's quite short, you know what I mean? So there'll be some sort of relationship between the A wave and the B wave. Come down, cover this gap, maybe find support down here somewhere. But I'll leave that to you in that instance. And if you want the safe trade, of course, you can just buy the top of the B wave. I'll just put that over here. You could buy the top of the B wave there, but I've got to put that back because that's what happened. And yeah, so it should stay pretty steady, I think. And Microsoft, also a bit of a weird pattern here as well. it seems to be working in lots of 3, so we'll just need to be a little bit careful about that. That means that this leg down here may not be from B to C, it may not be 5 waves, it may just be in 3 waves, but we'll just see how it goes at this point. Let me just double check. That looks pretty right to me, but yeah, so that's okay. So we can buy in that box if you like. Yeah, no, I'm happy with all of that. This will be wave 1 and 2 in here, and 3, 4, 5. I don't think it's going to come down that far actually, but you never know. You know, they can just, there's some news event will happen and they'll stretch out and and prove you wrong, but we'll see. But also too, we want to buy new highs, so I've brought this one here down from top of wave A, so we're here now with that. So I'll just pop that out there, and yeah, so we'll also be looking, also we've got to be thinking ahead as well. So once the 280 becomes the support, we want to be buying on that, because we'll be facing 300. So if we can probably get, you know, 3 little positions in here, then we'll just allow for the swing to swing across this level, and when we get support here, we'll be building in on 10, 20 and 30 here, and then on 50 here as well. So we want to be building positions for the long term, and you don't have to put full positions in here. Like this one here could just be, you know, if you, like I say, if you trade 10 shares, it could be just, you know, 1 share, you know, something that you can manage. You want to be you don't want to be checking the, you know, you don't want to be a junkie to the price, you know. It's too hard work, it sucks energy out of you. So Meta, it's a little bit of a different one. This one, you can just see that it just wants to make new highs here. So look, I may not have this count right, and we may end up copy this and end up over here for this as well here, because this appears to look like it's in 3 waves here, a bit like Tesla. So we can certainly end up with 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, something like this here as as the move, and then to the upside there. But either way, let me just check here on this. Let's take it to that one. Still brings us down to here, so we'll just put this down here, but I'm going to lift it up a bit above the 50%, and that can be the buying space if it goes down there. And like I say, you don't have to put a large amount on that, full trade on that. I want to keep that out of the way. It's really sitting on that trend line. It's sitting up here. It's not going to go far from it in a way. When you find this sort of the speed of a market, you know, then you can look at it as overbought and oversold on that speed line there, so to speak. That's always pretty much how indicators work anyway. Yeah, so that's that. See, it's hard to put that B wave there because this looks like it's in 3 waves here, and I can't leave that there as wave. Yeah, it's a bit of a puzzle, that one, but I don't care. We're just going to buy that high. That's all we need to know at that level, because it's like it's coming back up, you know, and you know, chipping away at the supply. So it will go through at some point. So Berkshire Hathaway. So we can remove this here, and we can look at this as 1 and 2, and the 3rd wave's not done just yet. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for the 3rd wave, then a 4th wave, and then a 5th wave at this point. But we don't want to, I don't want to buy in the box here, because I don't have the best looking 5-wave structure here for this. And the other point is over here, it does count down quite nicely as 5 waves here as well. I mean, I've got it as an ABC, but I know I can look at it, I know I can count that as 5 waves, so that is a concern for me at this point, this particular one. So we just need to buy a new high. So if it was going to be bullish, we've got half a position or part position here, I should say, and then a full position here for that. So no matter what happens down here, and we'll probably adjust these once I see more of this structure. If this is correct as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here, then we'll probably be playing the game over this side. But in the meantime, if anything happens here, then we need to be long at those points, because as a bearish market, it won't take those position these highs out at that point. So yeah, that's all of that. That's that. So not quite ready just yet. And square, we've got this as a slightly different pattern here. Now, look, I really don't know about the pattern here, but I'm going to take it as being bullish, but I can see that it can also be bearish as well. There's a few bullish things going on here. So for instance, here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and then we could look at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and sideways for 4 here, well, sort of sideways, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to finish. So we've got an impulse wave here, and then we've got an ABC pattern here. So if that stays in place here, then we can put that wave 2 in there. Will it stay in place there? I don't know. I mean, if the rest of the market was bullish, I would be bringing that down to, down onto these highs, but I need to leave it here for the time being, out of the way. And we could certainly, this could be down for 1, back for 2, down for 1, back for 2, and continue down. It's looking, that's probably 1 ABC, looking kind of bullish in here too. But anyway, it's not quite ready. So it'll be ready with the banks. So let's just look at the banks here. The banks are not that far off either. So if we look at BAC here for a moment, we've got wave 1 here, the A wave here, then ABC for the B wave. I could probably look at this different too. I could probably put wave 1 here and wave 2 into here for that, and then wave 3, 4, and then coming down for 5, and just having one more move down here and then moving off at that point. So that's a bit of a possibility. I'll just have a look at Morgan's to see where we are at that point. But bringing it down further would be sort of in line with the rest of the market. But the finance sector can kind of do its own little thing in its own way. So 3, 4, 5 to come down anyway, but tomorrow we'll see. I mean, the other point here too is that just to do all that, we'll just get rid of that. We don't, whoops, not that one, that one. We can go long above here now. Just remove that because it's not there. So we can go long above wave 2 here, or we could put that over here for that wave 2. That would sort of help a little bit more. But also too, like if the market did come back, it did come up here at the 3650, which is the lower end of minor group 2 here, then we'd be wanting to see a classic trading levels pattern sitting on that level there. Something to be able to get your teeth into, even if it's really small, something even just like this here, where it makes a high here and then moves down and makes a second high here, and then you can go long above, well, that high, but also this high here as well, and then put your stop under here, and then as it gets triggered, then you can move your stop up under that one. So it tightens it up a lot, like it just just makes things safer. So, but yeah, I mean, anyway, we'll look at what it is tomorrow. I have to go to the dentist early tomorrow, and I've got 2 fillings and an extraction to be had, so I won't be talking after that, but I will do the stock video. It might be a bit earlier, and we'll see where these are, and I'll get the indices done as well, but I won't be able to do all the videos tomorrow, unfortunately. So, JP here. So this is probably the most normal ABC correction that we're looking at the moment, I reckon. So it's kind of nice A wave, nice and sharp and simple, bit of a complex for the B wave. And if this was going to be bearish as a wave 2 here, it wouldn't be that complex, you know what I mean? So to look at this as an A and a B and a C and be done here, I just don't think that's the case. And little things like this tell me that we're on the right track here, even though I can't get it right all the time and I miss things. And yeah, so anyway, you just really use me for just another idea, that's all. So we've got wave 1 here, and 2 needs to go over here for that, and this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down for the 3rd wave, 4th wave and 5th wave here. So obviously that can come down further here, so we need to be mindful of that. Yeah, no, I've got to go with that. I mean, just it looks a little bit sort of odd in here, but this is what number, you know, large numbers, 3 being the 4th strongest number, it, you know, they can, they just bring all, you know, people think in whole numbers and even numbers and that, and that's where they put their orders, and that's where they buy, and that's where they put their stops. And so the whole, you know, they just act like psychological magnets. And once you sort of understand that a bit, then you can understand, you can kind of be a bit philosophical about the patterns, because they're going to be skewed a little bit and pulled this way and that way, you know. Look, anyway, that's sort of where we are at the moment with all of this. So I'm kind of glad that these have come down a little bit. It makes it a bit easy with the S&P 500, and the, you know, that they haven't really moved down, and they could, you know, they still look like they're in triangle patterns or wave 4s. I can see that they can be counted in 3 different ways, but I do need to force them into looking into a wave 1 and wave 2 situation, because it's obvious when you come to stocks. It's just not obvious when you're looking at these, or whatever indice it may be, you know, the S&P 400, 500, you know, all of these things, they're all kind of just sticking to this top area up here. But anyway, we'll look at those shortly, and that's it. So that's the end of this video for the stocks. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.